So, here we are. Now, this is going to be the story of one of the strangest collaborations you will ever see. And it comes back to kind of comparing it to that old commercial from years ago for Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. So there's two people bopping down the street and, oh, you got Chicago architectural history on my rapid prototyping cutting-edge technology. And you got, well, whatever that is, on my architectural history. Well, you know, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I'm a historian. I deal with old stuff. Part of my specialty is architectural history, the work of Louis Sullivan. I'd scrounge old pieces of buildings, I'd go through old books. And to tell the story as an architectural historian, there's a lot of cultural stories to tell, but I also have a dark side. You'll see.
And I'm Tom Weltswood, and I'm from Huddersfield, who found 3D printing and scanning in a very circuitous and serendipitous way. I love to 3D scan objects from the real world and see them represented on the screen, like Edward Kimme's line from the Art Institute of Chicago, and then print them using the 3D printer and other technologies.
Now, history doesn't always play fair. Some of the most beautiful buildings by the architect Louis Sullivan were done when he was in his 20s, during the 1880s. Beautiful houses and buildings that kind of were part plant, part building. Most of them were pounded into dust before even some of our fathers were actually born. So part of what I do is tell the story of these lost buildings.
In addition to predominantly digital fabrication, I teach extensively at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. In this image you can see me 3D scanning a Roman torso from the museum's collection using a method called photogrammetry. If you have a digital camera, then you have a 3D scanner. If you have a smartphone, then you have an app for that.
Now, I told you there was a dark side. Part of my expertise is I happen to be the world's leading authority on the history of Rocco Popeil TV advertised products. The birth of the infomercial and great gadgets like the Pocket Fisherman, Vegematic, and the Showtime Rotisserie. I know how to get you to put money and reach in your pocket and pull out money for something you had no intention of buying. Now, you can take this into the field of architectural history. How many times does this happen to you? You are an architectural historian. You're going to do a thesis on early Louis Sullivan ornament. Yes, you can go to the wrecking site and ground out and get that old terracotta, that old dirty wood pile, or you can go to books. Now, what are you going to get out of the books? An old black and white photograph. How is that going to give you any idea of the beautiful 3 dimensions of the magic ornamentation of what it actually looks like in light and shadow? Completely different effect that you certainly will never get in traditional printed page. So, what are you going to do about that? We're going to do something in new ways. So, history doesn't have to be like having a ton of bricks on your back. And just think of hauling that old terracotta, those books around, and oh, that aching back. You're not going to have that problem any longer, I'll tell you. Not to mention the money that you're going to save from all those clothes that you ripped from going around taking out that old nasty terracotta off of those demolition sites.
The solution is here. 20-something Sullivan, the world's first 3D printed architectural reference books. All your important ornaments collected into one handy lightweight volume for lectures, lessons, and leisure alike. 3D printed in only the finest plastics, culled from premium corn and vegetable starches. 20-something Sullivan features 9 of Louis H. Sullivan's finest ornamental pieces in high relief. Stands for the only remaining sources of Sullivan's ornaments known to man. As you can see, the detail from the scan of an ornament from the Barbie house is unparalleled. Only in this, once the hands have been produced, we retreat to a digital darkroom to clean the objects up and make them 3D printable. In this image, our skilled technicians repair the missing facets and separate them. From there, the scan is passed off to the next technician, who reduces the polygon count in order to make the mesh more manageable, before adding the design to the pages. In the top left side, you can see the original scan compared to the bottom left image, which shows the reduction in polys has very little effect on the fidelity of our object. From there, we move to CAD and integrate our scan from the Barbie house into the page design. It is here that the captions and braille translations for each object are added to the surface of each page, using only the finest artisanal Boolean union and difference operations. Tabs are added, and the final file converted to a mesh and exported as an STL for fabrication. Each page is printed using the latest fused deposition modeling process on a large format plastic extrusion 3D printer. As you can see, no expense is spared. Each page prints slowly, aging like a fine wine or rare scotch. Slow Fabrica 6. But wait, there's more! You can own this book yourself right now for free. That's right, no money down, no monthly payments, free as in beer. Just navigate your favorite web browser to thingiverse.com. Do a quick search for 20-something Sullivan and download it yourself. Only at least 400 hours of 3D printing, and you can have your own copy of this one-of-a-kind publication. 20-something Sullivan has been released into the public domain for you to breathe new life into these wonderful designs and ornaments. Impress your friends, wow your neighbors with this important slice of Chicago's architectural heritage, lovingly rescued from demolition sites around Chicago by folks such as the late Richard Nickel and the mighty Tim Samuelson.
That's right. You get to see the all-time hits of the past, like the 1883 Morton Sells House, gone since 1967, now an inglorious vacant lot. Or a beautiful terracotta block from the Barbie House, 32nd and Prairie, another empty lot. It's just, they disappear before you know it.
But wait, there's more. Yes, it's true, it's a library, but it's also a photocopier of objects. Simply take your favorite edge-right malleable material of choice and place it carefully in the flip side to each page to make a new copy of the Barbie House terracotta or the Rosenfeld building ironwork. Share them with your colleagues as a unique holiday gift or with your loved ones.
But wait, there's more. And while we have our beer break, you can examine, if for a limited time only, the original 20-something Sullivan book right here. And we also have under the table an original Copiel Ronco egg scrambler and Ripple-matic. We will scramble the